Hello everyone, I'm the EDC academic, and today I'm going to be talking to you about one of my favorite two-layer Swiss Army knives, the Wenger Viking. Now, this particular model is discontinued, but if you'll stick around, I'll talk a little bit about what makes it special, and I'll also point out a similar product produced by Victorinox that is still available for purchase today. I'll talk to you in a bit. Hello, thank you for watching. As I said in the intro clip, this is the Wenger Viking, and it is part of the 84 millimeter series. And it is a discontinued knife, and I watch a lot of knife videos on YouTube, and I read through a lot of the comments, and I've seen that some people almost get frustrated whenever people are reviewing or talking about discontinued knives because you can't just run to Amazon and purchase them. This is even though this is no longer available, there is a version of this that is still produced as part of Victorinox's Delamont line, and I'll talk about that at the end of the video. But I wanted to sort of justify as to why I'm talking about a knife that is discontinued. The reason is because Victorinox products and Wenger products, Swiss Army knives more generally, are an easy entry point to collection. If you're just getting into the knife hobby, they are all very high quality. They last for decades, and you can find them all the time in flea markets and antique stores, pawn shops. They're widely available, and they're cheap. I picked this one up for $8, and it's a fantastic knife. It's in near mint condition, I would say. It probably was purchased and then put in a drawer and forgotten about. It's just in fantastic, pristine condition, and I got it for $8. So don't get frustrated because you can't go to Amazon and find one of these, although there is an alternative I'll be talking about in a moment. But sort of use this as inspiration. You can go out and you can still find really good, high quality stuff out there that is discontinued and has that little unique factor to it. And that's part of the joy and the fun in this hobby. And I'll go ahead and talk about the knife. You can see one of the distinctive features on it is it has this little chain here. Now, from what I understand, based on information that I found on Swiss Army Knights and SacWiki, this did not come on every Viking that was produced, but it is on this one, obviously. And it's just sort of a pressed metal fitting there in the keychain hasp. And I like that. This is the only one that I have. I have about 20 or so Victorinox products, Swiss Army knives more generally, and this is the only one that has that chain on it. Now, that term Swiss Army knife, I should clarify, there are only two companies that can actually refer to themselves as Swiss Army knives, and that is Wenger and Victorinox. There are other sort of Swiss Army style knives, such as these two Italian ones. This is an MKM, part of their Campo series. This is a Swiss Army style knife. They cannot legally refer to this as a Swiss Army knife because it was not produced for the Swiss Army. Wenger produced knives for the Swiss Army. Victorinox produced knives for the Swiss Army. MKM never did. And this is an older version of a camping knife produced in Italy that is also a Swiss Army style knife, but again, not a Swiss Army knife. Victorinox and Wenger can call themselves Swiss Army knives because, again, they were produced for the Swiss Army. Now, back to the Viking here. It has your standard opener layer. It has the Wenger style can opener there. Still has really good walk and talk, good snap to it. Here is the bottle opener. Notice that there was no half stop here, and this has the economy scales, so there are no scale tools on it. So no half stop there. It does have the little wire bender slash wire stripper there. And unlike a lot of Wenger products, this bottle opener does not have a locking mechanism on it. Here is the Highlander by Wenger. And let me pull out its bottle opener. You'll see that it lacks the half stop, but this one, you can think that comes through in the microphone. As you press down on it, and I can't quite press down on it hard enough without really hurting my thumb. I'll see if I can get that in frame. You can see it moving a little bit there. Whenever you're pressing on this, bearing down on a flathead screw, it's a safety mechanism to keep it from popping closed on you, because it sort of slides into the scales in between the liners, excuse me, to keep it from closing on you. This is a Wenger product, but even though it's a Wenger product, it does not have that safety feature on there. You can't press on this and get it to go inside the scale. So that's interesting, because usually that's one of the benefits of having the Wenger product. It doesn't have the half stop, but it does have the locking mechanism. This particular knife has neither. It doesn't have the half stop, and it doesn't have the locking mechanism. And of course, you have the main blade. And I love the shape of Wenger's blades. They are a leaf shape more than just, which is different from the standard drop point shape of your Victorinox. And what I have here is the Victorinox Tinker, which is very similar to the Wenger Viking here. Except for it's a different size. Obviously, this is 91 millimeter. This is 90. Assuming this is 84 millimeter. And on the back side, the Victorinox Tinker has the backside Phillips, whereas the Wenger has the corkscrew. So the Victorinox Spartan would be a closer match to the Wenger in terms of the backside tool. The Victorinox Sportsman would be a better match for it in terms of its size, but both of those would be differing in a couple of key ways. First off, the shape of the blade. Now, obviously, they're slightly different length blades because, again, this is a 91 millimeter, this is 84 millimeter, but look at the shape. The drop point has not much of a belly. It just sort of proceeds straight and then angles up, and then of course you have that sort of significant drop there toward the very tip. The Wenger, it sort of bows out a little bit. It gives it that enhanced belly before coming to the tip of the drop point. So they're both drop point style, but it's a leaf-shaped blade in the Wenger case, and it's just a regular drop point in the case of the Victorinox. Some people refer to the Victorinox knife as having a spear-shaped blade. It's not a spear-shaped blade, because spear-shaped blades are perfectly symmetrical along the axis there, and this one clearly is not symmetrical along the axis. Another defining characteristic of the Wenger, actually I'm going to leave that blade open for another couple of minutes. This little guy right here, that little clip point, and how cool is that? I'll wipe some of the fingerprints and oil from that. It still had oil on it, what I'm assuming was the factory oil whenever I got this in a flea market. This is different from the, which way do I want to turn it? I'll turn it that way. Different from the Victorinox in that the Victorinox has the little pen blade. So you see the comparison of the size and shape there. I talked about the Highlander here by Wenger. It, instead of the small blade, has a little nail file. So this is the same size same length rather, as the Wenger Viking. But you can see that here we have the nail file with the nail cleaning tip on it, where the secondary blade would be. In the case of the Victorinox, you have your standard pen-shaped pen blade. And in the case of the Wenger Viking, you have that little clip point blade, which I think is just so much fun. Very unique to have. Very unique. I hate that phrase. It is unique among Swiss Army knives to have that little clip point blade there. And I really love the novelty of it. I love the novelty of the little chain. I love the novelty of the tiny little clip point. And I normally like to have a nail file with the nail cleaning tip instead of a secondary blade. But in this case, just the novelty of this little clip point, I found it so charming that it won me over. This knife does not see any carry time. This does not see any pocket time. This knife stays exclusively in my drawer, my knife drawer, with the knives that I cherish and keep and like to pull out and look at on occasion, but never carry. I'm interrupting the video because I realized in post-production that I had forgotten to talk about the version of the knife that is still available. The knife that we're talking about is, of course, the Wenger Viking, which was discontinued several years back. The knife that is similar and still available, I'm sharing on the screen now, and that is the Victorinox Evolution S101. It is similar in that it has the same blade and same main blade, same clip point. It has the bottle opener. It has the corkscrew and has the reamer. The differences are the bottle opener, the can opener on the Victorinox Evolution is obviously the Victorinox style can opener and not the Wenger style. The awl or the reamer is also different, and I also realized that I forgot to get a picture of that during the video, so I'm sharing that right now on the screen with you. And obviously, the Victorinox will have the scale tools, whereas my Wenger Viking had the economy scales and hence no scale tools. And one last major difference is that the Victorinox Evolution S101 has a locking blade on it. And as I'm recording this video, that knife is currently available on Amazon for $35. I checked the Victorinox website and it is not listed rather on the Victorinox website. So it looks like it has been stealth discontinued, but there are still several of these knives remaining as in-stock items through various various outlets on Amazon. So it's available for $35 on Amazon, or of course you can just look out for the for the original Wenger Viking for $8 at your local flea market. Now back to the video. So that was it. That was all I wanted to talk to you all about. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.